What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over 5 reasons why I think Madden 19 has the potential to be one of the best ever. Now, if this is your first time checking out one of my videos and you want to stay up to date on the latest Madden 19 news and the best Madden 19 tips and tricks, definitely consider subscribing below and hitting the bell so that you join the notification squad. So let's get into it. Why will Madden 19 be one of the best ever? Now, keep in mind, I made this same video last year about Madden 18, and Madden 18 turned out to be probably my least favorite Madden ever. I talked about it in my year-end review. I absolutely hated Madden 18, but when I made that video last year, I made it before I actually played the game. I was going off of all of the news that we heard, all of the features, the videos that I had seen, and of course the opinions of people that played the game early. But as many of you know, the people that played the game early, they played a different version of the game than was actually released because they tweaked a lot of stuff. So, you know, they were hyping up a version of the game that was better than we actually got. Now, this year is a little bit different because I've actually played the game a lot this year, and I've played it in different stages. I've seen it evolve. I've played it early and gave feedback on it. I've played it at EA Play. I played the beta, and now I've been playing EA Access for the past few days. So I've seen the game evolve. I've given feedback on it. I've seen things get fixed, and I feel like I have a really good grasp on the game right now. So these are my 5 reasons why I think Madden 19 could be one of the best ever. And obviously keep in mind, it's, you know, PS2 was the glory days. We're probably never going to get games as deep as we did on PS2, but there are some things these days that weren't there on PS2 as well, so I think it kind of balances out. But let's get into it. Number 1 on the list for me is the real player motion. Now, this is something you're going to hate at first. Like, the first week on the game, you're going to hate real player motion because you have to really relearn how to move with the ball carrier. It is not like it has been. It is not what you know. It's not what you're used to. It's a lot harder to run the ball now, but I think that's a good thing because people like to just spam runs all day, like the same few runs. It takes skill to run the ball now, which is good. But even just throwing simple drags or flat passes, if you try to get your player going from east-west to north-south too quickly, you're going to lose momentum, you're going to plant really hard in the ground, and you're going to, you know, give up extra yardage that you could have gotten because you didn't know how to maneuver. You have to really have, like, soft hands on the joystick this year. There's even some instances where it's actually better to let the computer guide your guy upfield when you're trying to make that transition from east-west to north-south, because if you try to cut too hard like you always could in years past, you're going to lose a lot of momentum and you're not going to be happy with the results. So once you get used to real player motion, you will realize how much better it is. The players actually do move a lot more realistically. It adds kind of a little bit more of a skill gap in terms of how you move with the ball carrier. People can't just spam the same runs over and over because you actually have to have skill to execute these runs the majority of the time now, and it just actually makes for a better feeling game once you get used to it. So that's number 1 on my list, real player motion. Number 2 is franchise mode is making strides, and it's the best franchise mode we've had for a while. Now, yes, I know there's a lot of franchise guys that watch the channel, and for you, franchise mode isn't where it needs to be yet, and I agree. You know, it's not PS2 days, and I don't think it's ever going to be that deep again. But in terms of the last, few years, this is for sure the best franchise mode the game has had. I think franchise mode got more updates than anything else this year, which is good, and there's nothing wrong with that because it had been neglected for a while. But it seems like EA going forward wants to upgrade the game equally across all modes, which I think is the right thing to do. But this year they had to get franchise kind of back up to speed, and I think that they added a lot of great things to the mode that's going to keep you immersed way longer this year. I've dabbled in it a little bit, and I found that, it was more fun for me, whereas in a couple years back I tried to play and I just got bored instantly. So, they added custom draft classes, of course. They added scheme fits, the new upgrading system for the archetypes. They added some cosmetic things as well to make it look less stale. So overall, franchise mode is definitely less stale. If you're a big franchise guy, I don't see how you would not enjoy franchise this year. It is for sure better than it has been in the past few years. So that is, that's a big plus right there. So I think that is moving in the right direction, and that's going to make Madden 19 really fun for franchise players. Number 3 is Madden Ultimate Team might be the best it's ever been.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! What?
Now, keep in mind, I haven't played Ultimate Team the entire time it existed. I started in Madden 16. For me, Madden 19 for sure is the best Ultimate Team to start the year than it has been in the past 3 years, but I know a good amount of MUT veterans that have been playing since the beginning, and they all share the same thoughts that Madden 19 feels like the best MUT we've ever seen, or if not the best, one of the best, and that's a really that's a really, really big thing, because MUT is such a big mode now and a lot of people play it. But they made all of the changes that people wanted, and they added a couple things as well. You know, they did away with contracts. People hated them. They're gone. The upgrading system changed. It's actually really nice this year. You know, you get your training points, you upgrade your players, you get the points by quick selling the trash in your binder that you don't want, and you can downgrade the players if you don't want them anymore, which last year that was the biggest gripe. Power-ups were cool, but people wanted to be able to get out of them and get some of their investment back, so they fixed that. What was another gripe people had? Chemistries. They changed chemistries. You can now select the chemistry on every card. You have full control over your team, whereas last year and the years before, you had to just take whatever chemistry came on your card. Another great addition. They added the solo battle game mode, which is a lot of fun. Like, this solo battles game mode is a lot of fun, and it's an easy way to earn rewards, especially if you're a guy that doesn't want to play online against other people. You can play solo battles, rack up, you know, you try to get the highest score possible. It makes it fun. Anytime you add a competitive advantage, or not advantage, but a competitive element to something, it makes it fun. So playing the computer isn't fun for a lot of people, but if you say, hey, if you score the most points and get the most passing yards, your points, your battle score goes up and you can rank in the top 100. Now people want to play it, because anytime there's a competition, people want to compete. If you get in the top 100, you get good rewards for solo battles, and it also helps increase your XP by a lot, which is another advantage. So solo battles is a lot of fun. Another great thing about MUT this year to me is that it seems like it's getting more balanced in terms of the money spent versus no money spent. You know, I played the game for a couple days, maybe 3 hours a day doing solos, and I took my team from the 60s overall all the way up to an 82 just from 3 hours and 2 days doing solos. And the solos are pretty easy. They were not like full game solos. You can like get through them pretty quick. You got a lot of coins for doing so, got some good packs and players. Got my team up to an 82 overall without spending a dime, which is great, because last year it was harder to do that. So I think this year, if you want to be a no money spent guy, the game seems a little bit more balanced to help the guy that doesn't want to spend money, and that's always a plus for MUT, because anytime they make you feel like you have to spend money, that's a bad thing, and we don't want that. So I think MUT, overall, they hit a home run so far this year. As long as the promos are good throughout the year, this is going to be the best MUT we've ever seen. If you're an Ultimate Team guy, you're going to love MUT this year. There's nothing to complain about. Number 4 is, it feels like the skill gap is back. Now, yes, there's a skill gap every year. The top players are always the top players every year. You know, give or take a few guys. There's always the same top players, but the skill gap has undoubtedly been getting smaller and smaller over the last decade. We all know that, but this year it feels like that gap is widening a little bit again. Like I said, the real player motion is a big reason for that. Your stick skill matters now. You can't just spam run plays. If you want to run the ball, you actually have to be good at running the ball and good at maneuvering a ball carrier. Even if you're passing the ball in the open field, you have to be good with maneuvering the ball carrier. The competitive scene this year is going to be played on all Madden with no previous play on. That is huge. There's no reason that competitive should be on all pro with things like previous play on. That does not make sense. So that's great for the skill gap. The zone coverages are improving, which improves the skill gap. Now, yes, there are a few glitchy things with zones that need to be patched, and they are going to be patched. Like cover 3 is a little like way too easy to bomb right now, and cloud flats kind of suck down a little bit too much, you know, if you use certain routes. But if they can just tweak those things, those very minimal things, zone coverage is going to be great this year, which increases the skill gap because the windows are smaller, they play tighter. But if you notice, if you go in practice mode and just play around with the zone defense, you'll notice that they match routes very, very well. They pass off routes very well, which they never did. If you go run certain route combinations, you'll see the zones passing off the routes really nicely this year. And all of that helps increase the skill gap because it makes it to where someone can't just get in on the game and just throw the ball blindly every play and just have success. So I think the skill gap is returning for Madden 19. It probably won't be, again, PS2 level skill gap, but anytime the skill gap widens, I think that's great for the game, and I definitely see that being a thing this year. And number 5 on the list for me, this might just sound a little too basic, but the game is just fun to me. I have not had this much fun on Madden since like Madden 25, Madden 15, and it's only been, maybe like a week of playing, but the game is just so much fun right now. Like I said, MUT is the best it's ever been. I dabbled in franchise a little bit just so I can, get a feel for it, and I didn't feel bored when I was in it. I felt like I always had something to do. The gameplay is fun because I feel like there's a skill to it. You actually have to be skillful in running the ball. You actually have to be skillful in passing the ball. Defense works, but you have to actually know how to adjust it to get the desired result, whereas last year you just had 91 zone and you could just mindlessly play defense. You know, long shot's better this year than it was last year. I'm not really big on long shot, but long shot last year was boring as could be. This year, you at least get to play a lot more, you know, games in long shot, so it actually is an improvement. I feel like there's just something for everybody to do this year. Solo battles, like I said, I'm having fun playing into the computer on solo battles because there's a competitive element to it. So, all in all, I think Madden 19 is just fun, and I can't say that I could not say that at all about Madden 18. I definitely couldn't say it about Madden 17. Madden 16 was a little fun for me, but 25 and 15 were the last years that I remember Madden just being absolutely fun, and that feeling is back for me in Madden 19. So that's just a big reason why I feel like this game is going to be great. But that's all for today. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments below. Have you played the game already? How do you feel about it? Are you excited about it, or do you think it's going to be trash? Let me know, and as always, I will see you guys next time.